J-Wolf, he's Trap King.
We started last year, started off as a clothing brand, but the direction is not there. It's really not there. It's further beyond like just a clothing brand. I mean, like we're trying to push a black agenda. We don't say it as much because some people might find it like too upfront. Like, oh, you guys are just talking about black people, you know. But we are black people, and we are the majority. We are the majority in SA, and our focus is SA and then beyond.
And we're brilliant.
Really?
No, we're really brilliant as black people, and I think we need to stop first assimilating to white people, whiteness and white standards. We need to be our own standard.
Yes.
You know, and we can only be our own standard if we put ourselves there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I for one, make it a point that I wear local brands.
Okay.
That's the first thing. The second thing is that I make it a point that I am in the township.
Like you stay there, or like you visit?
No.
You still stay there?
I stay in the township. The concept of Kasi Lawyer is not just a name, but a way of life. So, law is not accessible, firstly, to black people. Secondly, it's not accessible to people who are poor. Because the moment we get money, the system forces us to move to these places.
Gas.
No, I'm saying once I make money.
Okay, forces you to move into like
into a suburb.
Okay, got you.
Because that's where everything is.
Okay.
You know, accessibility and so forth. And that robs young people from having close contact with people that they admire. You know, the people in the township, or young ones in the township, have a lot of contact with people who are not doing right. So we only come Ekasi so that we can wash our cars on a Sunday and drink expensive bottles, and then we out. But that young boy doesn't see you walking your Tengisingwa, or doesn't find you at a shop to actually have a conversation with you and say, actually, I want to do economics. What do you have to say? You know? Or to just have that personal touch and personal feel. And that's why you find that a lot of us will say that we've got mentors or we've got people who look up to role models, but they're never people that we are close to. It's always people from very far. And that is because we don't know the people that we grew up with. Because as soon as they start having money, which is not their fault, the system forces us to move. So I made a conscious decision that I'm not going to move. And my brilliance and my work standards are not going to be determined by the fact that I live in a township. I am a Kasi boy through and through. And I love being a Kasi. And I believe in being a Kasi. And that is why I also make it a conscious thing that I wear black local brands.
Yeah. Do you go further and beyond just wearing local South African brands? Is it eating South African? Is it more than just like wearing?
Listen, I am, and I'll say this again, I am conscious in South Africa in supporting local brands. I buy food from a certain lady at Davetown, authentic foods. It's a conscious decision.
Yeah.
I buy my alcohol.
Okay.
It's a conscious decision to the extent that I even say to the guy, but you need to stock 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, or I will call the guy, I'm like, hey, I'm driving by and there's just a group of guys standing at the gate. Tell them to move. You know, no, tell them to move because ladies are not going to be comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Walking in.
Okay.
It's just going to make them uncomfortable. You know, that's not a tavern. Just tell those guys to move. And I'm conscious in it, you know. So it's just me and just being a local guy.
What's like the passion behind it? What's your drive to say that this is what you want, this is the choice that you're going to make?
It's simple. We can only become better if we are economically emancipated. So if wearing melanin is taken to the people, then the brand itself grows. Then that means that you, the people behind it, grow. Mm-hmm. And when you, the people behind it, grow, then you are able to pay it forward. You're able to take your younger siblings to school, you know. And when they are at school, then obviously the social system changes. Because then we get to have money and we get to experience life better. But we cannot experience life better if we're going to support about David and Jones, people that we don't know.
For example.
You know?
Yeah.
Growing up I used to wear a brand that I really, really loved. Akacho and Urban.
Akacho and Urban.
You know?
Yeah.
Hilton Wayner. But we can't grow. And that is why when people like our Tepo jeans comes, we complain about their pricing.
Yeah.
Because we believe that black products and black people can't charge at a certain rate. And that's why I tell you now that I don't give free legal advice. I'm just clear on that.
Yeah.
I'm brilliant.
Okay. That's what we want.
Yeah.
No. Actually, I didn't even introduce the show. We didn't even take the chance to have the whole introduction. It's just a different feel. It's a different vibe. And we shouldn't succumb to a certain like template that this is the way you're supposed to do things. Sometimes things are great even when they don't follow the path that everyone else follows. For example, I was supposed to have a welcoming intro, but we were talking and the conversation was flowing, and we got to a point where we discovered your opinions on certain issues. I want to get into more details, but we do have to get a sort of like a background check of where you come from, because I don't know you know, personally, and I only saw you online, and I saw you through a friend. I don't know if you know him, Musiso Duze, obviously you know.
Yes, I know.
I saw you through, I saw you through Duze, and for me, black excellence is a thing, you know. It doesn't mean that black is a standard that must be taken down from like a norm. So seeing you, it was like, wow, it's amazing. We need to make sure people are aware that there's black people doing this. Because for me, I've never known anyone who's doing what you're doing. And for me, I want other people to know that. And I only know a certain part. So I don't know where you grew up. I don't know what primary you went to. I don't know what high school you went to. I don't know the challenges that you faced growing up, getting to the point where you are. I'm not even sure what you really do. And I'm interested in finding out, like, you know, that journey and all the influencing factors that come into being black excellence. Because there's a lot, you know, the mental issues, the emotional. So let's start it off with, I'm sure there's ladies who will be watching and want to find out how old you are. You know, whether you are on the market or not. You know, those are also answers people would want to find out about.
Yeah. So I'm a guy from Davidson. We are Vuta. I'm 30 years old. I'm an attorney. I'm an attorney by profession. And I'm an ordinary guy.
Ordinary guy.
Listen,
We don't find what you're doing ordinary.
No, listen, there's nothing extraordinary about me. And if there's anything that people need to take away from me, is that I'm ordinary. I'm not an A student. Actually, to the extent that there was a time, my family had a Thanksgiving for me just this weekend. Mm-hmm. And in her speech, my sister said, you know, and that is the truth. I was never one who's smart. The only thing that I knew is that if I work hard, I will get what I want, you know. Mm-hmm. So for me to get a distinction meant me not sleeping, and I didn't. And that's all. That's just what sets me apart. Is that I just work hard. You know, I didn't go to a Saint. I went to Actonville Primary, and then I went to Liverpool Secondary, and then I went to UNISA. Mm-hmm. Then it's only now when I was doing my master's that I went to FITS.
Okay, so one of the topics that we did touch on was the road to unemployment for undergraduates. It's an episode that we are going to release on the 17th of October, and
tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, today's the 16th. We're recording this on the 16th of October. So the issue was that there's this transition that goes on between undergraduate to professional space. What's your take on that? What did you experience? What are the difficulties that you had?
The difficulties that I had, it's funny you mentioned that. The difficulties I had, and I always have this conversation with people too. The varsity system should be in high school, mm-hmm. and the high school system should be in varsity, because varsity is so casual,
okay,
just in how we operate, and high school is so disciplined and formal. And for me, the transition was with that, because in varsity, if you don't want to do it, you don't do it. If you don't want to go, you don't go. And at work, you lose all of that autonomy. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You're controlled by someone. You're controlled by rules and systems. So that's what I found hard. But also, capitalism in itself was just problematic for me. You know, that we just wake up every day to make somebody rich was problematic. But there's one thing that I will always tell people, that just before you venture into business, work under someone. Learn that discipline. Because today I stand on the lessons that I learned as a candidate, as an associate. You know, you learn on those. I stand on those rules and everything that I learned. And it's funny that everything I hated about my boss is what frustrates me today.
Well, how so?
So, you know, when you don't want to go to work, you know, and your boss says, "But I want you here," you know, it'll be the most frustrating thing. But once you start your own business, chief, no matter how sick you are, you've got to pitch, you know, because if you don't pitch, then there's no money for the bills. And you get to realize, you know, that I hated this person for the very same things that I now push, you know. I'll give you another reason. Another example. My principal, that's what we call people who teach us, used to hate people who go in pairs.
In
Msebenzi.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he used to say, "It's a police station, you don't have a partner." You know, and there are no friends here. You'll have friends after work, but during working hours. And I used to hate that. But when you start having a business, you hate people who socialize
during working
hours, because it compromises the quality of the product that you need to send out. And you are judged on your product, you know. So that's the one thing that you can never compromise on. So you get that. So for me, I think the transition was largely on that varsity was just really casual.
What's a memory that you hold fond about varsity?
let me tell you what happened. I partied, and I partied, and I had an exam.
Okay.
And I got into that exam. I remember it as a succession. And I opened that paper. I know.
You were not prepared.
I know I'm going with nah. I'm coming back with the facts. So before I could even sign the register, I then asked, can I please go to the bathroom? They say yes. I went straight to my car.
You left?
And I went straight to the doctor. And then I came
Must
back.
have been really bad.
Yeah, I know it was bad. And I came back and I submitted a doctor's note, and I applied for a deferred exam.
How did that go?
Well, I came back and I passed really well. But I mean, I was scared now.
Yeah.
Every time when I was studying, I just feared. And I mean, the second thing is I studied for the wrong paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the most devastating thing.
That was a mess. It was a mess. So tell me, what's like your day-to-day proceedings? Like on a day-to-day, like what do you get up to? Because we're having a conversation about like, we don't know this guy, like what does he do? And they were like, he's always in court. I'm like, he's in court every day, every hour. You know?
That's what I do.
Really?
I wake up and I'm at work. There's a bad habit that I have.
Mm-hmm.
My body refuses to have more than 5 hours of sleep.
Okay.
So I can tell you now, I was looking at a tweet of mine where I was asking about labor laws in the morning. It was at 1:26 a.m. and I slept at 3. But at 7 I was already up. So I wake up and I work. Unless I have to take my niece to school.
Oh, so you're Malum.
Yeah, no, I'm that cool uncle.
Do you have one of your own?
No.
Are you planning on having one?
I'm still consumed by being an uncle, you know.
Okay.
It
is a daunting task.
Yeah, I still want to be the best uncle out there before I can be a brilliant father.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wake up and I work. I largely do litigation, so I spend most of my time in court.
Like what they were saying, actually.
Yeah, I spend most of my time in court, and that's what I do.
What's like the worst criticism you've ever received?
Sure. It was when my former boss actually said to me, you know what, you're a brilliant guy personally, but work-wise, you are the worst person I've ever worked with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that just changed me completely. Because I remember I was driving after that and I just kept on saying, damn you. You'll never, ever, ever say that about me. Damn you. You know, and from there, you know. But also I'm my biggest critic.
You're your own biggest critic.
My biggest critic. I could do a matter, I could stand up in court and argue a case. I will always think I didn't do as best as I could.
Okay.
You know, I can draft papers. I will be satisfied. But at the back of my mind, I could do better. I should do better. You know. So, I mean, I can tell you now, I was mediating a divorce last night.
Yeah.
Old couple, 60, 65, 61. The husband is 65, the wife is 61. And I was mediating it yesterday. And I came back, I was tired, I came back and I just rested a bit before I worked. But I got a review today from the person who had referred client to me. And she was saying, this lady can't stop talking about you.
Really?
And just how much you are just of a strong character and you're not fearful. But when I walked out of that house yesterday, at the back of my mind, like I could have done more, could have done better, you know. I should have handled this point differently. You know, that's just how I am. But clients will come back and give a very glorious review. But when I review, I'm like, you know, Actually, I should have stopped this one from saying this. I should have. But I also guess that's what makes me better, because in handling another mediation next time, I will take those pointers to say, no, I can't allow this,
Do you want your company to grow?
That's the reason why I opened it.
How big do you want it to be?
As big as it can be. I want to be, I think my 5-year plan is to be the youngest black lawyer who owns a big law firm.
Mm-hmm.
And a big law firm in terms of the quality of clients, a big law firm in terms of the quality of work, and a big law firm in terms of the quality of attorneys that we produce.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we work in a small room,
It still has to be quality.
it still has to be quality.
So in terms of criteria, what do you look for mostly? Is this something that sometimes you look into? Are you part of the people who recruit people to work for you, or do you have a whole department for that?
No. So the thing is, law is personal. So the personal touch works. You can be an A student,
Mm-hmm.
but if we don't gel, then there's no way that we'll produce or we'll be a good team.
Yeah.
And we work as a team, and everybody's effort is important. So I look for people who are passionate, but more than anything, people who are researchers. My friends will tell you, my partner will tell you, yes, I'm off the market. But my partner will tell you that I go crazy. I could be listening to a judgment where they say, no, WHP is married and,
Yes.
customary law. I'm like, but is that correct? But it can't be, And I'll be rushing to get home because I need to open my laptop and I need to look at the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act, and that's just who I am. I could be watching the news and they'll be saying that the public protector does not have jurisdiction. Like, but doesn't she? No, it can't be. Oh yeah, she doesn't. Actually, let me check. That's just who I am. Because there's nothing new in law.
Okay.
You just need to look hard enough, and you will find it. Just like today, I just kept on thinking. So, and I asked this on Twitter. I'm like, so, in terms of South African law, you can work for 30 years for someone, and when you retire, they just say thank you.
Yeah. And a paycheck.
Yeah.
I saw that.
There's nothing that binds them. For me, that was very interesting. Look, how does this work? And I slept at 3 just trying to find the answer. Like, how does this work? How can this be okay? How can this be fair?
Did you discover why?
Well, I found ways to maneuver around it.
Okay.
But I just feel that we still need to push the Department of Labor to make it mandatory. So those are the kind of things that I do, and that's just how I am.
What advice would you give to the young children, since you are an uncle? I'm also an uncle, so I mostly do a lot of things for the youth. And this show is really not for us. It's for the people who are watching to be informed, to know what's going on in South Africa. We deal with the topical issues. There's a lot we didn't touch on. I would have loved it to delve into some of these topics, but we didn't have this opportunity. I didn't even introduce you properly. This is the Kasi lawyer. If you guys don't know, this is the Kasi lawyer, Mr. Jabu Mabuza. Yeah, I'm Jabulo Cause. I'm your host. If maybe you didn't discover that already along the show. So, what advice and what piece of advice would you give to the young?
Well,
especially in your field, because you have the experience.
2 things.
Mm-hmm.
1, just believe in the dopeness of your dreams. Believe in yourself. But 2, stay in your lane.
Okay.
That for me is very important. Stay in your lane. Do not be deterred by the fact that your peers are achieving. The best thing that you can ever do for yourself is to invest in yourself. through knowledge, through skills, that investment will kick out. That investment will kick out. But if you're not in your lane and you are more focused on what other people are doing and what they're achieving, then you'll spend more time invested in that than investing in yourself. And I always give people the example like black coffee.
Okay.
That black coffee found a lot of people in the industry, but today he owns it. And there's nothing special about coffee. Nothing special. His come up was not even special. He just came up like everybody else, but he believed in the dopeness of his dreams. And if you believe in the dopeness of your dreams, and the fact that Jabu had been doing it before doesn't mean that you can't do it better. He doesn't own the rights.
Or do it different, not even better, even different.
Or do it different. There's space for all of us. There's really space for all of us.
What's your take on the South African economy? I had to squeeze this question in, especially for the black people.
South Africans don't have an economy. The economy is owned by a select few. We don't have an economy, and we can't speak about something that we don't have.
What way do you think we can try and shape the economy to accommodate us, or for us to have a certain part or have a majority? What ways can we maneuver our way by the system?
By creating our own. Just by creating our own. Have your sneakers washed by a black sneaker washing company. Buy your food from black people. Have our money exchange, between black people. I can give you an example. When you go to court and you see Jewish people come to court, it's just a team of Jewish guys. Jewish client, Jewish attorney, Jewish senior counsel, Jewish junior advocate. They just keep it within themselves. And that is how we can create an economy for ourselves.
Yeah, interesting take. So this is WNTV, your channel for South African topical issues. I just want to give a shout out to the people who have been showing us love. If you are new to the show, we'd like to welcome you to the show and would like for you to be part of the movement and the community by subscribing. And you can also get a hold of us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook with the handle Wearing Melanin. Where can people get a hold of you?
On Instagram, I am it's Kasi_lawyer.
Okay.
And then on Twitter, it's Mabuza at Jablani. But if you search Kasi Lawyer, I think I'm the only person that comes up. So yeah.
So that is it for the show. Please do like, please do comment. Maybe you know someone who might inspire other people as much as Mr. Mabuza has inspired us today and will inspire you guys as you watch. Please give us a shout out. You can DM us. What do you have to say, Bazi? Do you have something to say for the show? You never say much. You don't even want to be part of the show. Just want to direct.
No, man, I just want to thank Mr. Mabuza for coming through. We've been waiting for it.
You've been waiting. How do you it's personal, but when you had COVID, what was running through your mind?
Nothing. I've fought, I think, harder battles than COVID. Harder health battles.
Really?
Yeah.
That's for another day. That's for another day. If you guys keep on liking, subscribing, and pushing us, we're gonna get Mr. Mabuza in the next 5 years when he has really achieved his dreams and is really gonna be black excellence. We're gonna have him on the show. Trust, guys. We out. Welcome to WNTV. Wow. I don't know why I have these words in my head and then I can't say it.
It's Wearing Melanin TV.
It's too long. Welcome to Wearing Melanin TV. Welcome.
Speak up, nigga.
Welcome. Welcome to WNTV, your